Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa may yudlilhu fala hadiyalah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi syrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the weakness of ourselves and from the brightness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. Whoever being misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to worship except Allah, only He, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad, His messenger, His servant. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Really, you are most worthy of praises and most exalted in nobility. Today, inshallah, we continue with our topic. That is actually about 50 Quranic rules on soul and life. And we actually in the 27th rule. Then last week, because we have other engagement, so we cannot do our class last week. May Allah Ta'ala forgive me because I didn't remind about it before. So a few of our students came to the class and just go back like that. Khair inshallah. It's because you know sometimes we just give the announcement through the Facebook, and some of our students actually not inside the blast info. That is actually inshallah we will help you to get to be inside the blast. So anything that new to be any announcement, they you will get it beforehand, inshallah. Right. So we continue with our topic. The last being said about our topic is actually when we say about whoever look into the text of the Quran, he will find out that there is actually big concern about the soul purification. That's actually from the prayers or supplication by Abraham for his children that will be in Mecca. He asked for them to be sent a prophet that will do among things that they will do is actually to purify them, and Allah Ta'ala answered it in Surah Al-Jumu'ah verse number 2 and in Surah Al-Imran verse number 164. And also inside the calling of Moses towards Pharaoh, also there's a mention about for Pharaoh to be purifying himself from the sin. So inside that, then we mentioned about it, alhamdulillah. And also when we said about the understanding from the rule that it's actually waman tazakka fa inama tazakka li nafsi, whoever purify himself is actually purifying. He's actually purifying for his own self. There's actually that is what being said, but the meaning inside it is actually that whoever will get the effect of the self-purification is actually the human himself. It's actually inside it, there's a warning. If you don't purify yourself, the one that will get the effect, the bad effect of it is actually your own self, not others. Not others, but you own self. Because whoever purify is actually purifying for him own self, not for others. So we also said about that, and then that the students and also whoever calling towards Islam, all the da'i, they are those who are actually have to have this part, this rule to implement in their life more than others. Because in calling people to goodness, if you are not purifying yourself first, then you cannot call others to come to purify themselves towards Allah. Because you have to be the role model. Because the da'wah with the condition and the situation is better than the da'wah or calling people with voice and words. Okay, today we continue. He said here, وَلِعَزِيمْ مَنْزِلَةِ تَزْكِيَةِ النَّفْسِ فِي الدِّينِ. And because the greatness, position of self-purification in the religion, كان الأئمة والعلماء المصنفون في العقائد, that the scholars and also the leaders, the imam who writes or author in aqidah, in beliefs, يؤكدون على هذا الأمر بعبارة مختلفة. They emphasize about this matter with variation of words from them. منها ما ذكره شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله جملة من الصفات السلوكية والأخلاقية لأهل السنة. Among it is what being mentioned by Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy upon him, a combination of character of attributes and character and manners for the Ahli Sunnah. وَمِنْ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُ, and among it is what he's saying, يَأْمُرُونَ بِالصَّبْرِ عِنْدَ الْبَلَاءِ وَالشُّكْرِ عِنْدَ الرَّخَاءِ. They, the Ahli Sunnah, the people who follow the Sunnah, they will command others to be patient in calamity, in disaster, in trial. وَالشُّكْرِ عِنْدَ الرَّخَاءِ, and also to be grateful and to show your gratitude within happiness or easiness of life. وَيَدْعُونَ إِلَى مَكَارِمِ الْأَخْلَاقِ وَمَحَاسِنِ الْأَعْمَالِ. And they will also call people to the nobility of manners and also the goodness of the good of deeds. يَعْتَقِدُونَ مَعْنَى قَوْلِهِ sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they believe, they have the belief inside their heart and their mind about the meaning of the saying of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, akmalul mu'minina imanan ahsanuhum khuluqa. The most perfect believers from the side of belief are those who actually the best among them in their manners. The most complete believers in their belief are those who actually the best or the best among them in sense of manners. The more iman you have, the more manners you have. They actually related between two. And also he said وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِمَعَالِ الْأَخْلَاقِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السَّفَاسِ فِيهَا. And they will command others to the highness of the manners, and also they will forbid others from the lackness or the downness of manners. وإنما نص العلماء الدين وأئمة الدين على ذلك لأن هناك تلازما وثيقا بين السلوك والاعتقاد. And the imam, the leaders of the religion, they only saying that because they saying about the character of the Ahli Sunnah, other than about their belief, their manners will also become we can become better, because li'anna hunaka talazuman wathiqan, because there's actually a strong tie, strong relationship between character and also or whatever you believe. The belief and the character is actually have a combination or a strong tie between it. Fasuluku zahiru murtabitatun bil i'tiqadil batini. So the outside character, the appearance character, is actually related to the belief inside the person. Fa'ayun hirafin fil akhlaqi innama huwa min naqsil imanil batini. So any diversion or lackness in akhlaq, in manners, is actually because of the lackness or the reduce of iman inside. Qala Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, Ibn Taymiyyah said, may Allah have mercy upon him, idza naqasatil a'malu zahiratul wajibatu, when the external deeds, there is actually obligated external deeds become reduced, become lack. Kana dhalika naqsi ma fi qalbi min al-iman. It is because whatever lack or reduce from inside the heart of iman. Fala yatasawwaru ma'a kamal al-iman al-wajibi alladhi fil qalbi. Fala yatasawwaru ma'a kamal al-iman al-wajibi alladhi fil qalbi an tu'dama al-a'malu zahiratu wajibatu. It cannot be imagined with the perfectness of the iman that is actually obligated iman inside the heart. Can happen that the obligated external deeds become non-exist. It cannot be imagined, because whatever inside your heart will always become whatever in your appearance. Even though some people say that don't judge a book by its cover, it's actually not from this point we are talking. Not from that point. Not saying that the person who's doing bad things or doesn't have any manners, you cannot say that even though he doesn't have any manners, he do things, disobey Allah, but inside his heart, he's actually a great believer. It's as if saying that the Iblis is better than any angels, even though he disobey Allah. Because inside his heart is pure iman. Some people I met in Perlis when I was actually teaching there. In one of the lectures, one of the people in the audience, he asked me, he said, Ustaz, can I say that the Iblis is actually disobeying Allah because of the highness of knowledge that he have about Allah, that making him to disobey Allah? The ma'rifat, the knowing of Allah that he have, making him to disobey Allah. I said to him, Allah Ta'ala said in the Qur'an, in Surah Zumar, Mujadalah. Surah Fatir, Surah Fatir verse number 28. Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Fatir verse number 28, this is actually one of the things that must be the rule that you have to really hold on when you want to follow somebody, to learn from somebody. You have to put this rule that is actually the number 28, verse number 28 of Surah Fatir. The Allah said inside that ayah, innama yakhshallaha bin ibadihi al-ulama. Only that will fear Allah from among his servants, that really fear Allah, are those who have knowledge. Mean if the knowledge is true, then he will become the most obedient person towards Allah, the most feared person towards Allah. Like the Prophet ﷺ, he never ever claimed that he is actually the most knowledgeable person, but he did claim about he is the most fear person towards Allah. A person that have fear to Allah. And the most pious person towards Allah. He did mention that when he actually want to correct 3 of his companion that's talking about one doesn't want to just want to pray every night, doesn't want to sleep, and the other one want to fast every day, will not ever break the fast except for the days that is actually forbid from being fasting in it, and also don't want to marry any woman. So when the Prophet heard about that, he said to them, Ama wallah, hear this, by Allah, inni la akhsyakum wa atqakum ilallah, I am the most feared person towards Allah and the most pious person towards Allah. But I pray and I sleep. I do fast and I break my fast. Means that there are days that the Prophet will be fasting, and there are days the Prophet will not be fasting. And atazawwajun nisa, and I marry woman. And then Prophet said, "Faman raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni." Whoever doesn't like my way, my sunnah, falaysa minni, he's not from among my people. So that the things that you have to know, that the Prophet ﷺ, he actually telling us that the appearance that fearing Allah is actually, he do say about he most feared person towards Allah. And Allah said in Surah Al-Fatir, verse number 28, Innama yakhshallah min ibadihi al-ulama. The only that fear Allah among his servants are the most knowledgeable, or the knowledgeable people, or the scholars, those who are actually have knowledge about Allah. So you cannot, then I said to that guy, if Iblis really know Allah, the real knowledge, then he should be obeying Allah, not opposing Allah. That is the thing. So you don't ever put the rule about don't judge a book by its cover, concerning about the piety and disobedience towards Allah. Can be the person is most believing in Allah. That is not right. Other than that, about appearance means that the person may be not wearing turban and not wearing the thawb, or the Arabian cloth. They don't wear that. They don't have the turban and everything, and they don't have the what you say, the beads on their hand to walk around and saying that, showing that they are actually remembering Allah. They may not doing that, but maybe they are actually more feared to Allah than the person that actually wearing turban. That's the thing. Or a person that have qualification returning from the Arab country, having all the certificates or credential of learning there, but maybe that is actually not the requirement. Maybe a person that is actually not going to, didn't go to the Arab country, didn't learn there, more feared to Allah than him. That is the way you understand. But for a person to disobey Allah, and you say that this person, you don't judge the person by his cover, that is not right. Because whatever inside the heart must be appeared inside on your physical deeds. If your iman is here, then your doing also will really calibrate with whatever the iman inside your heart. The more perfect the iman, the more the better or the best will be on your manners. Because you always think about Allah Ta'ala, you fear Allah, that Allah Ta'ala will count you for everything you say, every look that you eyes, the gaze of your your eyes, the listening of your ears, the handling of your hand, the step of your feet. You will always think about that Allah Ta'ala will make you accountable for everything. So you become feared person towards Allah. You will be the best manners. You don't ever hurt anybody. Like we hear the staff of Al-Akhadim, actually being given task to memorize few hadith, only 5. Until now, only 5. Among the hadith is being said, al-muslimu man sallim al-muslimuna min lisanihi yadihi wa yadihi. A Muslim is a person that every Muslim, other Muslim, are saved from his tongue and also his hand. Al-Muslimu man sallim al-muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. A Muslim is a person that other Muslim are safe from his tongue and also his hand. So that is actually requiring for you to remember that Allah Ta'ala will always make you accountable for everything you did in this world. So your manners will be inshallah perfect. Will be perfected because of your iman. So that's why we recite just now the hadith that Prophet said, Akmalul mu'minina ay imanan ahsanuhum khuluqa. The most perfect believers in their belief are those who actually the best among their manners. Even the Prophet did say, khiyarukum li ahlihi. The best among you are the best towards his own family. Because some people can do good things to others. Means that softly talking, either a man or a woman, they have the manners to be polite to others, but they are not polite to their spouses. Sometimes the wife can talk to in the telephone, in the handphone, with others softly and very polite, with manners. But when look at the husband, he said, why are you talking to me? Or the husband also the same can happen. But that's why the Prophet did say, the best among you are the best toward their own family. And because your situation with others sometimes, what you say, is superficial. You don't want people to say bad about you, so you don't you do keep your manners. But in your own house with your own family, sometimes you don't feel that exactly you have to take care about it anymore. You just do your real character is inside your house. That's why some of the scholars, some of our preachers that we heard, one of them is Mufti Meng, Hafizahullah. He said, if you want to know who I am, ask my wife. Don't look at me when I am outside, because you don't know me. The one that really know me is actually my wife. That's the real thing. Because manners is actually things that related, not because you afraid of the people in front of you. The belief inside you, if it is true, then you will keep your manners whether in your house or outside your house. You don't differentiate, because you always know that the one that looking at you at the time, whether you are inside your house or outside your house, is Allah, not people, not the CCTV, not being judged by the people. You don't afraid about that. You're afraid of being judged by Allah. That is actually related to the iman, the belief inside your heart. So that's why he said, فَلَا يُتَصَوَّرُ مَعَ كَمَالِ الْإِيمَانِ is actually never being imagined with the perfectness of iman. Perfect of iman, al-wajibi, that is actually obligated inside the heart. And tu'dama al-a'malu zahiratu, that it will not cease to exist all the obligated physical or outside deeds. It cannot be imagined. You have the iman but no amal. Cannot be imagined. Wa yaqulu Syatibi rahimahullah. Al-Imam Syatibi rahimahullah said, Al-amalu zahiratu fi syar'i dalilun ala ma fil batini. The external deeds in the syara', in the religion, is actually a sign upon whatever inside the inner part. Whatever inside you is actually the physical or the outer deeds. Is actually that is the sign whatever inside your heart. فَإِذَا كَانَ الظَّاهِرُ مُنْخَرِمًا أَوْ مُسْتَقِيمًا حُكِمَ عَلَى الْبَاطِنِ بِذَلِكَ. So if the appearance is actually crumble, or is actually straight, then will be ruled out upon whatever inside the heart as it is. As it is. It's actually, we're talking about the manners, not about your clothing, not about your appearance, about your kufiyah or your turban, anything. No. We're talking about the manners, not about the appearance of physical. Because sometimes the things, some people actually they do take care about their appearance, but their manners actually the opposite. We are talking about the manners that the person have. If the akhlaq is good, then inside the heart is good also. That's supposed to be happen like that. And also whatever being obligated upon him, the prayer, covering your aura and everything is there, then it's actually related to the belief inside your heart. If not, then your belief is corrupt. Because some people say that, yes, I don't obey Allah, but I don't backbiting others. Yes, I don't cover my head. I don't wear scarf to cover my head, like being told by Allah inside Surah Al-Nur, verse number 31. Yes, I don't follow Allah Ta'ala's command. Is he saying like that? But person will not say something like that. They don't ever claiming like that. I don't follow what Allah Ta'ala told me to do, but I'm pure in my heart. I don't backbiting. I don't envy others. I always help the poor. So some people saying that they actually want to say that they don't want to follow Allah in some part of His command, but they actually doing things that actually their thought is better than following the command of Allah. That is actually so wrong. But that is actually the corrupted belief that a person have. Okay. Fasuluk wal i'tiqad mutalaziman. Then character and belief is actually always between will come to each other, always come together. Kadzalika fa inna min al-akhlaqi was-suluki ma huwa min syu'abil iman. And also that among the manners and also the character, that is actually from branches of iman. Is actually said as the branches of iman. It's like being said about the lowest branches of iman. The Prophet ﷺ said in his saying in the Bukhari and Muslim, the Prophet said, al-imanu bid'un wa sab'una syu'bah or bid'un wa situna syu'bah. It's actually he said the belief, the iman is actually 70 plus or 60 plus branches. A'laha, the highest of it, qawlu la ilaha illallah, is the saying of la ilaha illallah. Wa adnaha, and lowest part of it is actually imatatul adha anit tariq, to make disappear something that will disturb people from the way, the road. You know, something is stopping people or making people difficult to pass by. You put it away, that is considered iman. And among it is actually al-haya'u minal iman. Shyness is among iman. So it's actually a character. It's actually a manners. And it's considered as iman. Walihada lamma dhanna ba'dun nasi. And because of this, when some people thought that, wa minhum ba'du tullabil ilmi, and among them are some of student of knowledge, anna amra tazkiyati sahlun aw yasirun, that the matters of purification is actually easy, or yasir, is actually so light. Is sahlun wa yasir aw yasirun, easy and light. Aw min sya'nil wa'adhi fahas, or it is actually from the matters of those who actually giving guidance only. Whoever talk to people, then they have to take care of their manners. So some of the students thinking about like that, thought like that. Yuqalu dhalika imma bilisanil hal aw bilisanil maqal, and he said that so either with the tongue of situation, of the tongue of words. Wujida suwarun kathiratun minat tanaqudat wal fisami an naqdi bainal ilmi wal amal. And it's actually because of that understanding, you can find that many form of uh, of uh, disagreement, and also fisam min naqdi, and also the not unrelated or not not tally between the ilm and also the amal, because the amal is there, the ilm is there, the knowledge is there, but the deeds or the doing is not like whatever you know. Because some of them thought that the thing about manners just only return to the wa'az, those who giving guidance or making to guide people or to teach people. They only people that have to have that. The student of knowledge, most of them didn't think that they have to also follow that rule. They thought that if I become a scholar and become a guider, then I have to follow. That is really wrong. That's why in these days we can see that many of the students, they don't have manners at all. They talk to the teacher or anybody that is actually not from his level, meaning that maybe the person that he want to talk is actually talk to is the rival of his teacher. You know, you are a student, you have your teacher, and your teacher have a rival. They actually from the side of knowledge, the part of knowledge between your teacher and that person is quite equivalent. Quite equivalent means that that person is really on the same same position like your teacher. He is also a scholar, but the student sometimes are saying more than their teacher. Start to bashing people inside the social media, saying that this person is not in our manhaj, not performing manhaj. We are actually better than him. But the student himself doesn't really giving anything to Islam. Doesn't do anything. Not to say that he actually do da'wah, no. Just maybe some of them is actually conducting classes, managing classes, and start to think that they actually have the knowledge to say that who is person that is actually on the sunnah and not on the sunnah. And even sometimes, some of them that I know about, even when I was in Yemen, they go to some of the scholars and actually complaining about somebody. Then the scholar that they actually giving the story to, those people doesn't ask the accused person whether is it really like that. Is it really like that by being said by this student, or is actually misunderstood? The situation being understood by the student. Never ever they ask. But they start to say that those are ahli bid'ah. They are not from us. They are actually not in the manhaj. Even though they didn't know us. They didn't know the teacher from the other side. So this problem, that this student is called as namam. Namam means that like to make people to fight each other by their story. They actually the namam in this ummah. You don't like that other teacher, don't go to him. Then it's okay. But to take their story, to go to the other teacher and say to them and ask about the ruling, and after that spread into the social media, that is actually not the manners. And this is actually because from the start, like being said here, that the student thought that they don't have to follow the manners. They can be rude because they are the scholar, the knowledge seekers. They are the knowledge seekers. They can be rude. They actually not eligible from the start to say anything. Just learn. Just learn. Some of them even doesn't finish the book, like Matan al-Jurmiyah. You know, Matan al-Jurmiyah is actually the book of Arabic grammar. They didn't even have the knowledge to read the book, but start to spreading, saying that this is not my manhaj, this is not my manhaj, because our manhaj is like this. But taking the story, go to some scholars, to have the rulings. After that, to spread inside the social media. But the problem is the other scholar that being told to them the stories about people in the country that is far away from them. But they start to say, oh, they are not on manhaj. They are not following the sunnah. We are the sunnah people. That is actually so wrong. So wrong. They actually wrong from the start to answer. They should say that I don't know them. If you can make me meet with them, talk with them, then inshallah I can know the rulings. I can say to you the rulings about that, what they are the thought, what they are manhaj, what they are discipline. But for me to just trusting you for the story, how is it? How is it can become something that actually the correct ruling? Even Daud alayhi salam in the Quran, if you recite the surah in surah in the story of Daud in surah Saad, verse number 23. It start from 21 to 25. Actually, the story about when David, peace be upon him, he was actually staying in mihrab, in a place for him to worship Allah. And suddenly 2 persons came unto him and start to complain about each other. But the first person told his story. Then he said, Inna hadha akhi. This is my brother. Lahu tis'un wa tis'una na'jatan. He have 99 sheep. Waliya na'jatun wahidah. And I have only one female sheep. Faqala akfilniha. Then he said to me, come, let me take care of your one sheep. Wa'azzani fil khitab. And he overpowered me in his speech. So David, peace be upon him, he actually just directly answered when he was listening to one side only. And he said, laqad zalamaka bisu'ari na'jatika ila ni'aji. He is actually, your brother have already oppressed you by asking your sheep to be combined to his sheep. And actually, among people that say mixing each other, their properties, they're actually oppressing one each other. So that is the thing that David, peace be upon him, wrongly put it there. Because some people, they go into the Old Testament saying that David is actually being tested by Allah. That is actually the thing about 99 sheep and one sheep. One sheep is actually a metaphor about what he's doing. He already have 99 wives and a wife of person to become his. That is actually wrong because that is not from the character or from the moral of the prophets. Peace be upon them. The prophets never ever did something like that. Then the scholar said that inside the story, that is actually the thing that David answered quickly towards what being complained to him, without listening to the other person. What happened? Because we did mention this about when you listen something that when we took the ruling the rule of idza ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu. If a person that is actually unknown to you or actually disobey person came to you with any story, then check it first. Checking the story have two sides. First, is it true? Then secondly, why it happened? Why it happened? That is actually the thing about checking the story. Because maybe that person, that when he said that his brother wanted to take care of his one goat and combine with 99, maybe because the first person doesn't have anything to give to the goat, and maybe the goat will die of hunger when taken care by him. So his brother maybe have the all the wealth to take care of all the 100. Maybe because of that the wording came. But because David, peace be upon him, answered quickly. Then he actually, after that, he realized that Allah Ta'ala is testing him. Then he quickly asked forgiveness from Allah, and Allah Ta'ala forgave him. So that's actually the thing. Like these days, when you listen, somebody said that this person is not on manhaj or everything. If those person that saying that are students level, they are not the scholars, then you don't have to listen to them. And also, if other scholars saying about the other scholar that's not being known to him, unknown to him, just because these people, this student, told him whatever the story from their view, the scholar that listening to that cannot rule quickly about anything. He must listen to the other side. Then only he can rule out whatever there is there. This actually that is actually what being said here, because many people, many students of knowledge these days have lose their manners. They don't have any manners anymore. Inna su'alan yatabadaw ila dhihni wa nahnu natahaddathu an hadhihi al-qa'idati al-Qur'aniyyati. There is a question that came to our mind, to the mind, when we actually talking about this Quranic rule. Kaifa nuzakki nufusana. So to cleanse yourself is important, to cleanse your own self. But the problem is, how do we purify or cleanse our self, our soul? Wal jawabu an hadha yatulu jidda. And the answer for this is actually so long, very long. Walakinni ushiru bi ikhtisarin ila ahammi wasail tazkiyatin nafsi. But I, the author, said that I will show, I will give a hint briefly to the most important ways of tazkiyatun nafs, of self-purification. Famin dhalika, from among it, firstly, tawhidullahi ta'ala wa quwwati ta'alluqi bihi, to clarify the oneness, of Allah, have the tawhid, and also to strongly depend on him, because actually why? The first thing, because some people say that yes, that person, that's the non-believers, they actually not good in their belief, but they are better in manners. They are better manners than the Muslim. Even there's a claim that Islam is found in the Western country more than inside the Muslim. These actually words that came from people that is astonished with the development and the vastness of the things that happen in the Western country, even though sometimes they are not talking correctly. Whatever they said is actually from the material side, saying about the thing there. Like I said before, like some people say that in Japan the manners is there, they are better manners than the Muslim. Some people is actually start to boost up and praising the non-believers more than the believers. Actually, one person that I met, he is actually from RTM. I don't know whether he's actually alive or not, because the person that actually I was assigned to be with him to the Yemeni television station, the satellite, to send the footage, because at that time the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Allah Ahmad Badawi, came to Yemen. So the crew, the television crew, actually taking all the pictures. So they have to send it to Malaysia. At that time, the internet is not really that good, so they sending it through the satellite. Actually, the 1 minute around $300. The cost. 1 minute, $300. For 9 minutes, 1,000. They have the things, but the person cannot talk, cannot speak in Arabic. So I become his translator. Went to the TV station at 3 o'clock in the morning, because people in Malaysia want the footage to be with them, so that we can show it in the morning news, in the evening news. So they have to send it quickly. But the brother that I actually I being assigned to help him, He died. May Allah have mercy upon him. After I returned to Malaysia, I met him once, talk to him. Suddenly, a few months after that, I got the message in my handphone that from his number saying that my father, the name he said here, that his father actually already passed away in a car accident. So telling that thing happened. So I met some of the people there. So anyway, the other person that I met also with him is a cameraman. So he is actually so impressed with the Western way of life. He's staying in United Kingdom for a few years, and he actually praising all the thing in the Western country. So when he came to Yemen, he saw the Yemeni people. They're still wearing their clothes, their jubah and everything with their jambia, and some of it actually from the cleanliness is actually not really that good, because those people actually they are Arabs, they are actually they are the Bedouin. They have the lifestyle of Bedouin. Don't really think about the appearance. They don't care about to sit on the ground. But some people have seeing that it's actually a lack of actually cleanliness in their side. Even though the place that they sat on is actually there's no thing najis there. So he started to say something I don't like. He said, Yemeni people, I went to Pakistan. Also, the Muslims are so dirty. He said, so dirty. I said to him, brother, if you want to say something like that, I don't really encourage you to say, you say Muslim is dirty. First thing first, you have to know that all this nation, all this country, being governed by people who actually not really implementing Islam. They are the generals of the army. Like in Pakistan or in Yemen, their leaders is actually they are the army generals. They are not people who actually know the knowledge of Islam. That's the first thing. Even in Egypt, all the army generals, they are the leaders of the country, the public, the people country. The army will become their leaders. So they are actually not really following Islam, and their side is actually from where they put their belief. Like most of the Arabs leaders, those who actually known to become the president from among the generals of the army are following Russia. They're following Russia as a empire. They're looking it as the way they want to develop Islam. So that's happened there. So I said to him, you cannot compare first. Secondly, if you say something like that, I give you an option. Because I want to ask you right now, which country is the most suicidal rate are high in this world? Because he actually praising the Japanese country. So I said, you don't know? Actually, he cannot answer. I said to him, Japan. Second, South Korea. So I said to him, yes, the Yemeni people or the Muslim are dirty. You say that I accept. But they are sound in mind. They don't kill themselves. If you're given option to have a child, they is actually so tidy, so clean, but actually crazy. And the other son, the option, second option, is actually your son is actually so chomot and dirty, but he's sound in mind. Which one will you choose? Because this one, the untidiness, you can wash him out. You can teach him. But unsound mind, crazy mind, suicidal mind, you cannot cleanse this just like that. You cannot just put water and suddenly the person doesn't want to kill himself anymore. So you can say that, yes, people here is actually like this. You don't like it, but they are actually more sound in their mind than the Japanese people. They actually have the suicidal rate so high at that time. When he came to Yemen, that's actually the early of 2000. Nowadays, if you look into the suicidal rate, Japan already back into the number 13 or 14. It's not because they found a new religion or the suicidal attempt in their country become lesser. It's just because the numbers of their people is actually reducing. In Japan right now, they actually by year, every year they will lose million of inhabitants every year because there's no new born, so less children been born in that country. So if you say that the reason of suicide happened because of the pressure in life, the oppressor and the oppressed is there, the bully, the one is bullying people, and the one bullied is there. But when you don't have any children, the thing will not happen from the start. So no more suicide rate, high suicide rate in their country. And people that are actually alive, they're already being tested. They pass not to suicide, to have the suicidal attempt. So I said to him, you can answer it to me. You can answer it to me. You can see that you are praising them, but they are actually, most of them are not sound in their mind. They're actually looking to the cars they are making. But to have your people liking to suicide, to have attempt to suicide, to kill their own life, take their own life, is actually more distressing than to have people that's actually not really clean. Not really clean, but you can clean them. But this one, you cannot have anything. The start is actually from the belief. All the beginning is from the belief. Because the person that have tawheed towards Allah, have actually clarifying the oneness of Allah, they have the purpose of life. They know what to do in their life. And they also have the hope that Allah will change them, for them, whatever happened to them. So that's making them to always continuing their life. And secondly, when he said about quwwatu ta'alluqu bihi, because you know you have Allah, you have God that's actually created you and actually giving you sustain you in this world. So you have that tie, that dependent to Him, making you to become a more and more better person day after day. And even you know Him, He is actually the one that can make you purified or being cleansed by Him, because Allah Ta'ala is the one that will cleanse him, cleanse his servant. Because like in the supplication being taught by the Prophet, peace be upon him, among the supplication, the Prophet said, Allah ma'ati nafsi taqwaha, oh Allah, bring forth to my soul taqwaha, its piety, bring it to me. Wa zakkiha anta khair man zakkaha, cleanse it, purify it. You are the best that purify, who will purify my soul. Anta waliyuha maulaha, you are actually the guardian of my soul and the owner of my soul. The owner of my soul. So Allah ma'ati nafsi taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khair man zakkaha anta waliyuha maulaha. Oh Allah, bring forth to my soul its piety. Wazakiha, and cleanse it, purify it. Anta khair man zakkaha, you are the best that will purify my soul. Anta waliha maulaha, you are its guardian, you are its owner, the owner of my soul. So that means that you cannot have the purification except to rely on Allah, not by yourself. Secondly, mulazamati qira'atil Qur'ani wa tadabburihi, to always recite the Quran and also to look closely inside the Quran, because Quran is the book of guidance that guide you, and by looking into that guidance by Allah, then you will get the guidance from Allah, then that will purify your soul. Then, and Quran is the words of Allah, not the words of human. If somebody said that if you say something, your soul will become enlightened, then nothing is actually better to enlighten your soul than the words of Allah in the Quran. Number 3, kasratu dzikri umuman, to always have remembrance, to remember Allah generally. when going inside your car, coming back to your house, opening your door, everything. You always remember Allah. That's actually will make your soul to be purified. Actually, because the sense, the feeling, the Allah Ta'ala is watching you all the way and depending on Him for all the things that you do throughout the days, will really help you to purify your soul. Number 4, al-muhafazatu ala salatil mafrudati wa qiyamil laili walau qalila. Number 4, to always take care upon of the salatul mafrudah, the obligated prayers. Always take care about that. Always when you listen to the sound of adhan, quickly prepare yourself. Qiyamul lail, also to wake up at the night and pray, even though a little, because that is the thing that will make you have the relationship with Allah, and having a relationship with Allah is thing that will purify you. Number 5, luzum muhasabati nafsi bainal fa'inati wa ukhra. Always to account, to look into yourself, to account your doing, whatever you did, from one moment to another moment. Always, maybe every day, once a day, maybe once a week, 3 days a week. Not to let go once a year. It's so far. You have to account yourself, because like being said by Umar bin Khattab, hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu. Count yourself. Count about yourself before you be counted by Allah. Before you counted by Allah in the last day. Look into yourself. Have to look whether what I did is right or wrong. Have to count your own self. Like we said, balil insanu ala nafsihi basirah walau alqa ma'adhirah is one of the ruling that we took. That is actually verily the human upon himself is really seeing, even though he's giving all the excuses. You give excuses, but you actually the one that know what are you doing. Nobody know about yourself better than yourself except Allah. Other than Allah, you are the one that know about yourself, whether you are sincere or not, doing something because of human or because of Allah. Only you know about that. So you have to account yourself, to recheck yourself about whatever you did from one moment to another moment. Number 6, hudurul akhirati fi qalbil ibad, to make appear the last day inside the heart of the servant. Is that to always have the remembrance about the last day. You will die. Everybody will die. So anything that you have in this world is not really for everlasting. It's just for you to, for a moment, maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a day. It will lose, will go away, when it will go away from you. So you have to think about the last day, the place that you will be everlasting for you, either in enjoyment or in torment by the hellfire. So always to have that inside your heart. Number 7, tadhakkurul mauti wa ziyaratul qubur. Always remember about the death, and also try to always visit the graveyard. Visiting the graveyard in this sense is not for you to ask from those people who are already dead for your anything that you want, but it's actually for you to look into yourself, that one day you become inside the ground. People will bury you. What will happen to you? Today you bury somebody, but one day will come, you will be buried by others. So what do you prepare yourself for that days, for that day, for that moment inside the grave? So remember, because the Prophet ﷺ did say to the companion in the beginning of Islam, the Prophet forbade the companion from going to the graveyard, visiting the grave. The Prophet said, "Ala inni qad nahaytukum an ziyaratil qubur." Listen, that I before forbade you from visiting the graveyard. Ala, listen, from now, starting from today, fazuruha, visit the graveyard. Fa innaha tudzakkirkumul akhirah, because it will make you remember the last day. Number 8, qira'ati siyaril salihin, to read about the life history of the pious people. Those people actually good people. Read about their life. Then we will help you to know whether you actually doing the right thing or not. To know about the messengers of Allah, about the Sahaba, the companion of the Prophet, about those people who actually tabi'in, those actually learning from the Prophet, learning from the people that learn from the Prophet. You have to see about their life, so that you can know whether you can actually measure yourself whether you actually nearing their lifestyle, or you actually from going away from them, because they are actually the people that the Prophet said, khairul qurun qarni, the best generation is my generation. Thumma alladhina yalunahum, then after them, the second generation after them, and thumma alladhina and after them. So the best generation is on that time. Add up before with the messengers and the Prophet, then the companion Prophet is actually what you have to look into. Wa fi muqabili hada, and the opposite of this, fa inal aqila man yatanabbahu lisaddi manafidil lati qad tufsidu alayhi atharu tilkal wasaili. A brilliant person is actually a person who realize to block all the ways, all the window that may corrupt on him the effect of those ways, the 8 ways that we mentioned. Then he always have to block anything that will corrupt the ways that can help him purify his soul. لأن القلب الذي يتلقى الوسائل والأوائق موضوع واحد لا يمكن انفصاله. Because the heart that is actually receiving all the ways to purify, and also the stop that will stopping you from purification in same place, لا يمكن انفصاله. You cannot be separate it from each other. You accepting the both thing, the goodness and the badness, the way to purify yourself and the thing that will stop you from purify yourself. You cannot make it in the same place, because your heart is actually only one. That is being said in the Qur'an in Surah Al-Ahzab. Ma ja'alallahu lirajulin min qalbayni fi jawfihi. Ma ja'alallahu lirajulin min qalbayni fi jawfihi. Never Allah Ta'ala made for a person there's 2 heart inside his chest. Inside his chest, only 1 heart, no 2 heart. So you cannot say that I can do the both, to have the thing that will stop my purification and to have the thing that will purify myself at the same time. It cannot happen, because your heart is only one. Idhan la yakfi an ya'ti al-insan bil wasaili. Then, because of that, it's not enough for a person, for a human, to just came up with the ways to purify himself. Bal la budda min tibahi ila al-awaiqi. But he also have to take care, taking care, or to realize, to really alert about the things that will stop the purification. Mislu nazari ila al-muharramat, such as to look into the things that is actually being forbid by Allah. Allah Ta'ala forbid us from looking. But these days, because of the ways of the internet being used widely by human, actually this way is actually not really, I don't know, so difficult for our youngsters these days. Things that actually not being exposed to them in the early age, being exposed to them. When we in our time, in the 80s, when we are actually playing at that time, girls and boys, actually so innocent, nobody thinking about sexuality, nobody have the pervertness of sexual pervertness there. But these days, I don't know, but I thought that even from 5 years old, start some things actually start to happen there, from the boys side and the girl side, start to have that understanding, because they're becoming exposed daily. You know, in the 80s, all the television channel, they will cut any intimacy being shown inside the television. Even kissing is not being shown there. But nowadays it is so open, and the government cannot stop whatever being put inside the new ways of video streaming like Netflix and that's way. So no stopping from things to happen in front of your children. At that time, no, you cannot do that, something like that. You cannot find it in television. Always being cut. I don't know what things actually. I don't want to say blaming, but the first channel that introduced some of that is actually the TV3 channel. From the start, they shown the Three's Company about men, two girls, and one man and two women staying inside the house, doesn't have any relationship as a husband or wife, but staying there and having open relationship inside the house, saying that it's actually okay, nothing happened there. So the thing is actually up to our people, and we follow them by making a sitcom 2+1, 2+1. Also actually following that to mix each other without boundaries. Because that is actually, they said that as long as they didn't do anything. Because the Prophet did say about shaitan, his cousin, Fadl ibn Abbas, during he performing the Hajj, after he thrown the jamrah, slaughter his animal, he changed his clothes and he wear a new clothes and he stood up, he sat on a camel, answering question from people. At that time, his cousin Fadl ibn Abbas was here, and from the other side, there's a young girl. Maybe being said in that narration of the hadith, have quite good looking. So Fadl ibn Abbas, his cousin, was looking at the girl. So the Prophet continuously to push his cousin's face to the other side. The cousin start to look, and the Prophet push. By he's answering the questions from people, but continuously to push away the face of Fadl ibn Abbas. Then suddenly Fadl ibn Abbas said to him, "O Prophet of Allah, O Messenger of Allah, why do you push your uncle's son's face? Why?" The Prophet said, answered to him, I see a young man, a young woman, I afraid that shaitan will come between them. Shaitan will come between them. I afraid that shaitan will come between them. This is actually the manners of Islam. But the problem is, after that, what being shown there, even there's one more thing. Solid gold. Also, one of the entertainment being brought by TV3 at that time, exposing things that is actually not supposed to be shown. But I normally cannot see that show because that time is actually after, between Maghrib and Isha, and I always being sent to go to reciting Quran lesson in a house of one of my teachers. One of my teacher near our house, we are going there to learn Quran. At that time, even the Night Rider, we cannot watch Night Rider or Airwolf because the time is actually the time we went to learn the Quran. Anyway, people actually inside their houses. The parent, maybe the mother is actually cooking. The children is actually looking at the television. What do you expect? What happened to them? Being exposed to this thing frequently. Nowadays, actually more worse. So what do you expect? What will happen to them? Last time, actually so innocent. We climb the tree, go inside the they say longkang, drain. Inside the drain, the big drain. People, children will go inside the drain. Nobody will disturb them. No sexual things happen between the children. No thinking, not a single mind about that. So innocent. But these days, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. So actually making us afraid about the future of our children. That is actually because looking into things that is actually haram will open up. Our sima'il muharramat, or listening to the things that actually forbidden things. Our itlaqil lisan fi ma la ya'ni, or also to utter your tongue to say words in things that actually doesn't concern you. Fadlan amma haramahullahu ta'ala. Actually, moreover, things that Allah Ta'ala forbid. To say things that Allah Ta'ala forbid is more towards that. To say things that it doesn't concern you is also things that actually you have to stop. Because that is the thing that will stop you from purification your soul. Allahumma inna nas'aluka wa nad'uka bima da'aka bihi nabiyyuka Muhammadun sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, we ask you and we supplicate you with the supplication with what we supplicated by your prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and good prayers and peace upon him, that the prophet taught us, Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha. We supplicate with the same supplication. Oh Allah, bring forth to our soul taqwaha, is piety. It's piety. Wa zakkiha anta khairu man zakkaha, and cleanse it, purify it. You are the best who purify the soul. Anta waliyuha maulaha, you are the guardian of the soul and the owner of the soul. Allahumma inna na'udzubika min ilmin la yanfa'. Oh Allah, we seek refuge with you. We seek refuge with you from any knowledge that is actually not benefiting. Any knowledge that is not benefiting. Wa min qalbin la yakhsha', and also from the heart that is actually not bowing down towards you. Wa min nafsin la tashba', and we seek refuge with you, Allah, from the soul that is actually will not ever be satisfied. Waman da'watin la yustajabu laha, and we seek with you, O Allah, from supplication that will not be answered to it. May Allah Ta'ala answer our prayer. Amin. Okay. Alhamdulillah, we finished that. Inshallah, we'll go into next week in the 28th rules of Quranic rule on soul and life, inshallah. So, like always, no question? Alhamdulillah. You have any question? Alhamdulillah. We stop here. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.